When I became a mom, I was just exposed to this whole range of issues I'd never heard of before. With Dialogue, I want to talk to experts or people with varied range of experiences from pregnancy to parenthood to get this conversation started. Remember the day you found out you were pregnant? You must have been so happy, or worried, maybe even surprised, or relieved. No matter what your situation, it must have been such a special day. The first day of a new journey, the journey that is about to change your life. As the days passed by, some of you might have felt nausea, like in the movies, you're running to the bathroom. केही खानु मन नलाग्ने भने कसैलाई एकदमै जे देखे पनि खानु मन लाग्ने. Your appetite, your energy must have surged. As the months passed by, you start reading books, downloading apps. Oh, it's week 25, maybe she's the size of a tennis ball. Or it's week 38, maybe he's the size of a watermelon. You start talking to people start giving you advices, you start listening to their experiences. Your body is changing as you are growing, your mind is exploding with information. And then, the day is here. After a life-changing moment of childbirth, your baby is finally born. Now imagine this. What you thought was supposed to be the best day of your life isn't so glorious anymore. You don't feel quite as happy as you expected to. You're not connected to the child yet. You feel a disconnect with your family and friends even. You start doubting everything. Am I going to be a mom good enough? Am I going to keep making mistakes? Panic attack huna thalcha, runo man लाग्छ, सुत्न मन लाग्छ, you don't know what is happening to you, and you ask yourself, yo ke bhako? Is something wrong with me? Prenatal and postpartum depression. Some of you may have heard about it, some of you may have experienced it, but I'm quite sure most of us haven't sat down to talk about it. So that's what I'm going to do today, and I have with me Miss Priya Joshi.
Hello.
Priya Didi, as I call her, used to work as a wildlife researcher in wildlife conservation for many, many years. Today, she is the co-founder and director of Maker Katie. Maker Katie conducts workshops for women and children to empower them by recognizing their own abilities. As part of our Maker Katie workshops, they conducted one called the CEO series, where they helped young female entrepreneurs understand the do's and don'ts of a business. And to add on to all of that, she's also married to a rock star, and you would think has had everything easy in life, including pregnancy and motherhood. Is that the case? We'll find out. Is that the case? So, okay, Didi, I know that you've had or you've dealt with postpartum depression, anxiety. Could you please talk to our viewers a little bit about that?
Yeah, I started my postnatal anxiety. It started maybe like 2-3 days after birth. I remember the moment it started. I couldn't go to sleep. I was just so anxious. And then as soon as I stood, you know, like with the new baby, it's just complete shock, like when you don't get to sleep, and the lack of sleep creates havoc in your mind.
Right.
But then mine was just, it was just non-stop. I was all the time, if you see pictures of me, I just have a frown in my face because I'm just thinking and overthinking, and just you can't get out of these symptoms at all. And I had to eventually I had to get help.
Did you recognize it right away that this is anxiety? Okay.
I'm prone to anxiety attacks, so I recognized it was anxiety, right? And then I knew I had to get help because it was just non-stop. I felt it might also negatively impact about child rearing and all that. So then I had to get help. It was just this. I actually lost a lot of weight because this constant, I guess there's so much like adrenaline rush and cortisol or kick it by down. So your body's always in like a fight or flight mode.
Right.
So I just about and your body's always like producing all these hormones and you're always by down. So I just lost a lot of weight. And I just could not be in the moment. I was just never in the moment. It was just always like all these worries and stuff was just always bearing down on me and just very difficult. Okay, at least the first 3 months. So it was quite difficult.
So when that happens, does somebody else's sort of support or actions impact it, or it's mostly just internal?
It is mostly internal, that obviously you have to have a support system, Nita. And it's, for me, my support system was my mother, like she was really my anchor at that time. Like without my mother, it would have been very hard, I would have wanted my husband to also support me at that time. That हाम्रो society my kids, a husband, अब म माइतीमा हुँदा the husband has to be in his house type, he can't be with me. And I would have wanted him to be with me like throughout the day too, well, and he was also willing that family obligations you have to kind of माइती गएपछि माइतीमा बस्छ type, so पछि he did come, like he took turns to come and stay with me, and so my mother and my husband took turns to stay with me. That yeah. Mother also, I don't know how, if you agree, it's kind of quite lonely.
Right.
Suruma. I guess it depends on your family structure, but you are with the baby all the time, and other people will come and go, but like the constant thing is just you and your baby, and a baby doesn't talk. And so it kind of gets kind of lonely. So telepani compound ganu.
So like you said about this society, and your mom was your support system, but I've heard of certain experiences where a woman is going through the situation and is maybe having just anxiety, maybe depression, but there is a pressure for her to perform right away as a mother, and people are like, "La bhai aba tere natak nagara, get on with it. Now you have something to take care of." Yeah, right.
You just get over it, just get the hang of yourself, and that never helps.
Right.
That never helps you get over it, Nita. It's like, no, you're going through that, and the sympathetic voices are अलि हुँदैन. It's just like हामी पनि गर्यौं, हामीले पनि गाह्रो भएको थियो.
हाम्रो पालामा त यस्तो थिएन. Have you heard this? हाम्रो पालामा त यस्तो थिएन, यिनीहरुको पालामा खै के हुन्छ.
हाम्रो पाला पनि थिएन, or सबैको यस्तै हो, just get over, suck it up type हुन्छ नि. Like it's almost like you're showing a sign of weakness by doing that. And I actually felt like that. I felt so betrayed by my own mind and my own brain. Like, why am I feeling like this? Why is my mind has betrayed me, and I'm feeling so anxious when I felt so like as if there was this flaw in me. And when I actually did finally go, and I was like, one night I just couldn't sleep the whole night, and it was just messing up with my mind. And I remember going to my mother the next morning, like, Amma, I need help. I can't do this by myself. I thought I could, but I can't. And so then I went to a psychiatrist. And then I told him I felt so as if like my mind had betrayed me, and I felt so weak, and it just, you feel so bad about yourself for being so weak. And then he told me
it's a guilt, like you're shaming yourself, sort of.
No, I wasn't guilty. It was just I felt very. You feel like you were a weak person, and you just like it's just really. It's just like, why can't I even get a grip of myself? And the psychiatrist told me something that I was so happy with, that really helped change things, because I was seeing myself as somebody flawed. Like, I have this characteristic, I'm anxious, and something is wrong with me and my mind and my brain, and therefore I can't think. But he told me, someone like that is your personality trait, and then maybe you overthink a lot of things, maybe that's just your personality trait, and what you are as a person has made you who you are right now. Whatever you've achieved in life is because of all these personality traits. So don't think of it as a weakness or something that's wrong. Because actually, like, I overthink things, but that also makes, like, there's also an advantage to take. Let's say, like, when I do these Make a Kitty workshops, it is my over-analyzing and attention to detail that makes them work out all right. Like, I thoroughly plan everything. So in this situation, maybe, but then don't see it as a weakness. Whatever you are, however you've shaped, it has led you to who you are right now. Right. So don't see that.
And that person is amazing.
And it just so it just was such a nice I stopped hating like that aspect of me, and it just helped me embrace it, which was one of the steps to recovery, to just kind of accept it and be like, not see it as something that was a weakness in me or a flaw in me.
That's a beautiful way to look at.
So that's that was one of my takeaway things from the psychiatrist. And then he gave me a very mild dose of I don't know what. First, he gave me some medicine for the first week to just kind of calm me down so I could go to sleep. Because lack of sleep was one of the main things. I was not being able to fall back to sleep at all, and that was, when you don't sleep for a few days, just messes up with your mind. Of course. And so he gave me something just so I could fall asleep, and that was like अब I'm somebody who's anxious as this and औषधि खानु पनि मलाई कस्तो डर लाग्थ्यो कि actually like यो औषधि खाएर मेरो जिउमा के हुन्छ यसो यसो गर्नु के गर्नु त्यसले पनि एङ्जाइटी हुन्छ नि त and he was like listen हामीले तरकारी सरकारी खाँदा यति केमिकल हुन्छ हामी यतिकै गम खान्छौँ हुन्छ नि डोन्ट वरी अबाउट what this one chemical do it's very very minimal dose छ it will help you relax भनेर अनि त्यो राति सुत्ने औषधि चाहिँ नि really you could just feel it just like calm you down and also like
so that means there is help out there.
Yeah,
I mean, people are not aware of it, or sometimes there is another stigma to also going to a psychiatrist. You know, that people think, hey, all the words that you might use. I
think it's also because like my parents were very supportive, and they've seen me have anxiety attacks before, so they know that I recognize the symptoms of it. And I just went to counseling. I'd never taken medication for it. I was just like, I know this one's any I will need help because I have another life to support also.
True.
If I did not have a baby, I would be able to love counseling just kind of consciousness
and take your own time.
Taking my own time, but I didn't have the luxury of time.
Of time with the baby, right?
Sleep. The baby was waking up all the time. And the June to reflect on the time. Kind of like where you just kind of take time. I didn't have the luxury of having that time with me because I had the baby. So like there was so much at stake, Nita.
Yeah. So I was going to ask, did that aspect or did that mood fluctuation or your situation affect your relationship with the baby or you being able to take care of the baby or any part?
No. And that was our thing. I didn't have that kind of moment that you know that you were supposed to have, I guess, according to
movies, right.
I didn't have that like the motherly love. In fact, like the birth, I was just like I was so like spent and traumatized that when they put the baby on me, I was just like, bacha
ayo bhayo yo sakyo
like the rush of emotion.
I get it.
I thought I would cry like my sister had done or something, that nothing like that happened.
Same.
But I had bonded with her. In fact I felt very very protective and as like like a bear or like a dragon kind of thing, just like
my baby, touch her.
Like, so the care aspect ma chai affect gare no I think because I was त्यो सुरुमा पनि कस्तो हुन्छ भने I'd also read other article with this woman who had like anxiety, depression, and so she was talking about like how she was you're in your mind, you're not being able to take care. The babies are so young, and you feel guilty. I'm not being able to like give attention to my daughter when I feel guilty.
Right.
But what she realizes, the bacha is so small. They doesn't know anything, Nita. So then all the baby needs at that time is somebody to like hold and somebody to feed them and like clean up after them. Okay, very basic. Ab thulo baby se bacha lai tyo attention dine, like the guidance then dine, whatever how you interact. Tyo ta sano bacha chahiदैन नि त. So even if I was lost in my own mind, I was still like holding her. I was like changing her diapers. I was feeding her time ma. So tyo bela like those basic requirements meet gare bhane the baby is
okay.
Fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
You're not going to negatively impact the baby. One of my main concerns was I have all these like chemicals in my whole body going through my body that's causing me stress. अब यो बच्चामा गयो भने म के गर्ने भने त्यो चाहिँ भएको थियो के मलाई like that was my stress thing. But then when I read online, I don't know if they tell you this so that the mothers don't get stressed, but they're like हैन बच्चालाई affect गर्दैन भने
okay
गर्छ भने पढाइ भने so maybe
don't stress otherwise
don't stress. Then I think that it doesn't affect mine. Then also like even the medicine I was taking, it was so mild. They had said that bachala affect garदैन भनेर. And in fact, when I'd gone like with another problem to another doctor, the another doctor also like checked with his own thing, and he said, "Eh la, garदैन रहेछ भने के." Like I was like, "La, what if this medicine is impacting my baby?" भनेर. But त्यो चाहिँ भनेन.
So going back to pregnancy, this is obviously post-pregnancy, post-baby.
Can I talk about the medicine and stuff?
Oh yeah, sure.
The medicine was given to me was very mild, and I only took it for like a few months, and it wasn't throughout. And once I was sick, so I think I took it every day, and this was I took every alternate day. The first initial calming medicine ek hafta matra thiyo, and it was so calming, it was so relaxing, but it's also very addictive. That medicine, which I found out through like a aunt of mine who takes that regularly because of her condition, So I was encouraged not to use it too much because you can kind of start abusing the substance. So I bought others just in case, like I need this to sleep. So I bought it, but every night that I did not have it made me that much stronger. Okay, so not taking that medicine made me feel stronger. And then and especially it was very, I don't know if that medicine actually helped me, okay? Like the mild medicine, I felt like, I don't know if it actually impacted my nerves or not, because I used to still feel anxious. I know, but maybe it's the placebo effect पनि भयो होला के ए ल हैन औषधि खाइरहेछु so I'm under control.
Right,
अलिकति
right,
हल्का
right.
I think a lot of it was also placebo. It probably did something to my brain, but then like naturally पनि it takes a few months to like
Of
get
course,
over anyway.
of course.
And then 1 month later when I had to do like every alternate, त्यो बेला पनि के ए मैले आज खाएको छैन. So every time I did not take the medicine became a thing where I was like, I'm doing fine without it also. I'm managing without this extra help. And so that kind of makes you feel stronger with your own like abilities.
So I think also recognizing your situation and taking it upon yourself to get better or to treat it or to get yourself together is also important.
Yeah,
mentally.
Who else is going to get yourself together? No, you are in charge of yourself and your mind. So then nobody else can do it for you.
Right. Because sometimes again there is a tendency to make this also maybe not an excuse of sorts, but know that you मलाई भइरहेछ so म त यस्तै हो मलाई यस्तो भइरहेछ यो कारणले भइरहेको भएको भएर and then like blaming it on people, you know, maybe saying nobody's helping me, nobody's doing this, nobody's doing that to me, and your condition भइरहेछ कसैले मेरो कुरा बुझिरहेको छैन and things like that. So that
or even blaming the baby
right. So that could make things worse.
Something about this postnatal anxiety, मलाई चाहिँ postnatal anxiety मात्र भयो हैन. There are a lot of women also have postnatal depression. So there are all these like stages of depression and anxiety. So like I guess one part is just like you feel a little bit tired and cranky to normal. The normal thing that happens.
The normal baby blues.
Motherhood is never like, oh my god, I'm so much in love.
Right.
I know the first few days that they like so crazy. Eventually, like even if the baby is not sleeping longer, you just get used to
waking
with
up
less sleep.
Right.
Your body adjusts. Your body is an amazing thing. It like adjusts. It's like not to getting by with just 2 hours of sleep or 1 hour of sleep. I know. So nobody's, let's face it, hardly anybody's like ecstatic in the first few for a few days of having a baby. And then you have anxiety and then you have depression. So like I also have a sister who went through depression. Usko then depression and she was also given medicine, but she did not take the medicine because it's something very addictive and you have to take it for a long time. Okay? So she chose not to. So she did it through herself. Like she was like, whatever she had to do, like she tried to do it without the medicine. So her medicine, obviously, because depression was a different one, you know. Not everybody gets medicine. So she did it without medication. But there's no shame in getting help with medicine and stuff because all this thing is happening in your mind because there's a chemical imbalance. So if you're taking something to kind of rebalance yourself so that you can be who you are normally, there's no shame in that. So depression hunda chai ni extreme cases pani hune raheछ ke. So like my sister used to go to support group ani त्यहाँ त like they were I bonded with my baby and I was very protective, extra protective of her, and like my sister also bonded with the thing. So there were people who would be like, they just didn't want anything to do with the baby. Okay? There's like, you bacha katai gaideu like I just want to go to a parking lot and just leave the baby there. Like just to extreme cases pani hune raheछ ke.
Hi. And you would think जुन चाहिँ एउटा mother को जुन feeling like you know how we've not exaggerated it, but how we've made such a big deal out of it.
And to this mother thing. Can you imagine how they must be feeling when media and like everything society is telling them to be like this loving mother thing, and they're feeling completely opposite where they don't even want anything to do with it. They wish the baby would just go away, not exist in their lives. Like not only are they feeling depressed and anxious, they're also having to deal with the guilt of not being a mother or not being a proper mother, a good mother, and to get out of that कति गाह्रो हुने होला के, you know.
त्यो एकदमै सबभन्दा pure love comes from the mother type and then they're feeling like that about the baby.
And you're supposed to feel it instantly. बच्चा पाउन अगाडि बेबी पेटमा हुँदैन मेरो बच्चा गरे, you're supposed to feel all this rush of emotions. Like whatever, I didn't feel that. You know?
Right. Okay, so to go back a little before your childbirth, pregnancy ko time mai तपाईलाई यो symptoms हरु आएको थियो? Did you feel some prenatal depression bhanincha? Did you feel that, or just anxiety, or like you said you just had general anxiety even before? But
no, I dealt with my anxious emotions and kind of gotten over anxiety for quite a while. So when I was actually pregnant, I thought I didn't have anxiousness. But what had happened was I did not realize I'd be pregnant so easily. So I was not so कति छिटो भयो कि before I was actually mentally like भइसक्यो म pregnant जस्तो भयो. Like we planned for it, but you know all my friends were getting IVF यताउता, like, and I was also
Taking
like
time.
I had my own hormonal, like मेरो hormonal imbalance भइरहेको थियो पहिलादेखि नै. So I just thought म त बच्चा पाउने हो, it's going to take me a while, and म त infertile हो, type खाली भइसकेको थियो. But यति छिटो pregnant भयो, and I was not ready for it, and I have had like sisters who've lost their babies एकदमै late stage मा के, like बच्चा ल next week आउँछ types, and then the baby has died.
Hi.
So can you imagine the devastation? You know, everything is set up for the baby, you know, and then suddenly there's no heartbeat.
Yeah.
So I was so like, होइन अब मेरो त you never know, like last minute सम्म केही न केही त हुन सक्छ. बच्चा like हुन्छ नि, like not every baby survives full term. Like, so I didn't want to invest too much emotion in my baby or get too connected or make plans about having baby, because what if something happens?
Right.
You know, what if something happens and the baby I lose? So कतिसम्म त I was just in denial of having this child. कि होइन, something might go wrong, you never know. I just kept pushing it away. And then I was also busy the CEO, or you said, like I was busy with Make a Kitty, I was doing all these workshops, and then pregnancy, you know, I did not enjoy pregnancy. The whole the nausea, the lethargy, you just can't do anything. You're just lying in bed, you can't do anything, and the like cake khana pani man lagdaina. You can't socialize also. That was another big thing. I'm used to going out and, like, you know, my husband has a very social life. He has to have it, because given his musical career. And I used to go with him. You go meet friends. But suddenly pregnant, but see, a bacha paisa, you're already out of that situation.
Yeah.
You know? But
you have a reason to stay home also.
You reason also your obligation.
Yeah.
To stay home, like you're already antisocial types way. Even pregnant hudakheri नै, it's like, because all these bars have smoking inside, and indoors there's loud music and things, so like you're already antisocial.
Yeah.
It's just like I can't even go where I want, I can't drink what I want, I can't eat what I want, and suddenly everything I do is suddenly about the baby. Baby lesto huncha, and I was like, but I'm still me. Why can't I do मलाई मन परेको चिज? Like, why is suddenly everything about the baby? So त्यो बेलामा कस्तो भइसक्यो थियो कि हुन्छ नि. The only thing about I liked about pregnancy was that I was doing things that people were saying that pregnant women cannot do, which is running around, organizing workshops and stuff, and being very active and ready. That was the only thing I enjoyed about pregnancy. अनि पछि चाहिँ कस्तो भयो भने, when I was getting anxious and I was reading up all this, hindsight, what I realized is my whole behavior when I was pregnant, where I was looking back and kind of in denial of my pregnancy. भनौँ न, दही चिरा पनि नगर्ने, नाए हुन्छ नि नाए. I was so much like, I don't want a big fuss. I don't want people fussing over me. I don't want to get special treatment just because I'm pregnant. I didn't like all that. Okay? So all that is also a way of anxiety. Okay? So I was in denial. Okay? So in hindsight, when I was reading up on my condition, I like, so even all that behavior I had before when I was pregnant, it was signs of anxiety. Okay? And I did not realize it. Okay? So I was in denial and everything, and then बच्चा त आयो अनि बच्चा हातमा आउँदा so I was just not mentally ready to be a mother at that point, okay? Because I was so sure that something was going to happen and that the baby would not come out.
So maybe you were overwhelmed also in a way with emotion.
And overwhelmed with emotion, just like,
and just have to accept the reality of things and now do it. I haven't prepared for this.
Change right? Overnight, like, oh my God, once you're a mother, once you're a parent, overnight life changes.
Right.
It's like you have like, you grow up and then you have a little equation that makes your life work, and suddenly like this tornado comes and a whole new variable comes into your life, the whole equation,
and then you have to readjust to everything in terms of relationships.
Everything is like a whole new dimension gets added literally into your life.
For the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life.
It's not temporary. 6 महिना बाँकी छ, सकिन्छ. You know?
So it's just, I think, and then that also kind of makes you, it just makes it worse, okay, when you're not mentally ready. So I'm kind of, I am happy when I meet friends who have gotten pregnant or who are pregnant, who are getting a baby, who is like, they're already thinking of things. Okay? And part of me is like,
so I was about to ask you, Teta, do you think that helps?
No, Teta, I'm just like, a part of me is like, aren't you worried? What if it doesn't happen? It's like, why are you setting yourself up to heartbreak? But another part of me is also like, I'm glad they're mentally there already, so that when they become parents, they kind of already know what to expect, and maybe it won't come all as a shock and all be like, oh, what is happening?
You know, I think I met you when I was pregnant at Dipkadi's baby shower. You were also pregnant at the time?
No, I wasn't.
You weren't?
No.
Do the math? You weren't?
I don't think so.
Okay, maybe you weren't. But I was thinking, hey, Priya, didn't pregnant boy because I found out soon after
Hey,
that
maybe
you
I
were.
was.
So you were just, I think, in your very early stages of your pregnancy,
We
and
were like
I was
1.5 months apart.
yeah, and I was like nausea, vomiting through the day, and then that was such a big celebration. But I didn't want to be there. I was like, let me just go home and sleep.
Exhausted also.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah. So, anyways. So, okay. In terms of even during pregnancy, depression, anxiety, and pregnancy, postpartum depression, anxiety, where do you think our society is at? In terms of information, knowledge, acceptance?
Long way to go. Like, I remember my aunt, like I said, who is already going through her own like depression and stuff. When I told her, she was very understanding. And she knew of the medication and stuff, and she's like, "That's very addictive. Very be careful." So because she herself had gone through it, like she was Ayla. Like when I told my other aunt, she's like, "Ha, this stuff her first reaction was to blow me off. Okay, ha, whatever. And पछि maybe she thought about it. So next time she met me, she was like, "Eh, तिमीलाई के भएको?" Types भन्यो हैन. That I think new moms or people who've already new moms, because the older moms have already forgotten what it was.
Yeah. I think they've
the
forgotten.
newer moms all kind of they kind of understand you, and they have that empathy. But even Surusuma, earlier, yes, my husband's become more understanding. The Suruma, and that initial stage when I was going through it all, he was just like, just snap out. That was his initial reaction, okay? And when he saw the era thing, he kind of came around. But initially, when I started having those symptoms, he was also like, buck up, like the tough love, okay? Just get over it. Just so society, I think, has a long way to go to kind of recognizing that it is issue. It's the whole problem with mental health in general. The whole thing, society makes it mental health is not seen as an actual problem. It's seen as something is wrong with you. You are depressed. Why did you snap out of it? You have issues. Think, oh, you're suicidal. Like, why are you so weak? It's seen as that problem. It's something physical. You see it a problem, but something inside the mind is not seen as a problem.
Right.
It's seen as something like their weakness, their thing, and just get out of it.
Yeah, I think so many people are even shamed for it. I mean, not just you. Sometimes I've even heard people go on to say, like, "Kosto khale ko upbringing," or like people are not supporting her enough, or she didn't grow up with enough love, or
kosto ama bola. Pampered that now she's like having a tough time.
Yeah. So people even go on to blame like other people.
It's Western influence,
data or stakeholders, right?
Twitter, when I shared this, and my God, that was the most thing that got retweets and stuff. I shared a picture of Tekka right after birth when I was hugging my husband, and because apparently my birth been एकदमै traumatic भएको थियो के I had thought I'm going to do all natural blah 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 and I got my natural delivery, but म painkiller पनि लिदिन. I had this, I don't know what image I had of myself. I was like, no, I can do
dragon.
I
am the dragon mom.
My God, the labor was throughout the night, and esto garo, esto chatpati huncha, because I wanted very, very natural. She gave me very minimal dose of inducing, because I'd already started showing symptoms that मेरो baby hadn't come out, so I had to be induced. त्यो पनि I have नगर्ने टाइप्स भएर थियो एकदमै mild dose दिएको थियो So that meant my labor was also natural, so it was 18 hours long types.
Wow.
Normal inducing other within 6 hours your baby's out, so you're not that tired.
like mine.
Yeah, they're like yours. So I was not, you don't get that tired, you're still tired. Raat bhari I was chatpat na ke khasa na ke chatpat esto dukhiरहेछ. And then so by the time morning when I'd actually dilated enough and I had to push and I pushed with whatever little energy I had. I pushed, that a baby was not in the correct position, right? So whatever little energy I had, and I saved up for pushing, and I had given it my all, it had all gone to waste, because baby had not come into position, So the actual pushing to labor bit was another 1.5 hours. Mero dimagma was just 20 minutes, because I don't know what the delirious state ma actually there was one doctor pushing on me, organ nurse ICQ. I don't even know when that happened. It's just a blur, the 1.5 hours of pushing so that by the time I couldn't even hold my legs up. I had no energy. So when my legs were up, my taka I was just holding my husband, because I was just I was so spent. I had no energy. I felt nothing. Just and So what my sister had said was she'd been told like people who have these traumatic births also tend to be anxious and stuff. Okay, so I had a history of anxiety and everything. Obviously, my pregnancy when they answered, turns out I was slightly anxious and in denial. That even my birth was just so traumatic that it just, I guess, just layers and layers of it.
It all added up to it. But thankfully, it's all come together, and now you have a healthy, beautiful child and a very
Feisty, ekdam 2-year-old terrible twos Africa.
and a very supportive husband also.
Yes.
So I
was
think that really helps. Yeah,
because not
yeah.
your society, my husbands are not. They're like, how sweet gare jani be.
Right.
So to actually have a husband who's completely like hands on, like apart from the breastfeeding, like
He can do everything else.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I can completely leave the baby. So this is a supportive husband.
Definitely. And I remember you also had an operation post the baby a couple of months after, right?
Yeah, so it was I was finally getting over my anxiety. And then suddenly I was, hey, like, because childbirth, you think, that it was bad. But you don't remember the exact pain. Okay?
Right.
You know that it was bad, but
yeah.
because it was like a muscle thing, maybe like it's not in our memory. Okay? So the pain is bad, but you don't remember exactly how bad it is. And I remember mentioning, hey, कस्तो pain भयो तर you sort of forget रहेछ है भनेको ठ्याक्कै त्यो भनेको एक दुई हप्ता पछि I got एकदमै terrible. I thought it was acidity के because I tend to have acidity. तर रातभरि भयो. I felt the pain all the way around my back. And then I went to the doctor and I was actually having like ice cream and stuff because acidity भयो like that. But turns out, so a lot of pregnancy I used to get gallstone okay? And I know it's pregnancy because when I was first got pregnant, my abnormal gallstone okay? But turns out pregnancy gives women gallstones, some of them, not all of them. कोही eyesight बिग्रिन्छ
Right. I think मेरो eyesight अलिक
weaken भयो. Blood pressure तल भइरहेको हुन्छ, diabetes हुन्छ हैन त मेरो चाहिँ नि I had high sugar. I didn't have like, what do you call it? Prenatal diabetes. What do you call that condition?
What condition?
When you have diabetes, gestational diabetes.
Gestational diabetes.
I thought gestational diabetes but I had high sugar, gallstone
and that wasn't detected.
And all of a sudden, it wasn't detected
throughout the pregnancy. In like no X-ray, nothing.
No, because
like, I mean, your
right.
Yeah.
So I would actually encourage women to, like, when they have their thing, when they're having ultrasound and stuff, to also check their gallstone and stuff. Check on So I only found out when and then so I guess one of the gallstones had gotten out, and so intense pain so then I had to get an emergency operation done to take my gallbladder out and everything, and I was still breastfeeding, and about baby 11, I had to have the baby with me in the hospital, like take operation and operation when I got woken up I had to have it and everything, I had to feed her. We tried to feed her bottle, so at least when I was in the operation she could go away. So she had to be with me. So balla at that time I had gotten out of my depression, and then suddenly I have an operation. I'm going through all this pain and the thing of having to, and then I have all these stitches, and then she moves around and takes a stitch when I'm feeding her, and like and I can't sleep because I have all these stitches, so I'm like sitting like so good. So I again went back to anxiety.
Okay.
But thankfully it was just like maybe it'll be like 10 days or so I kind of bounced back. But it was so frustrating for me because like I had just gotten over it. I was just getting better. And then suddenly back to the same state, okay? But then like I worked through it, and then I wasn't in that period for too long, but I had that step back,
So every pregnancy is different. Every individual body is different. Every post-pregnancy story is different. But in postpartum depression or anxiety happens to, I heard, almost 1 in 8 or 9 women, which is quite which is quite a big number already. But sometimes it goes unrecognized. People just get over it. Sometimes, even if it's recognized, they don't know what to do about it.
Baby blues, so you just compound. It's just baby blues.
It's just baby blues.
But when is it blues? When is it baby blues? And when is it actually anxiety or actual depression?
Right. So I think if it's prolonged, I think it would be more anxiety and depression. Like if it's in parts, just here and there, would be baby blues, right?
But the thing is baby blues is like, it's also anxiety, depression either, but the thing, it is so normal that
it's light.
Yeah, but it's so everybody does go through it. Almost,
Oh, right.
I
I
would
think
be
everybody.
surprised if
Right.
like there were mothers like, no, there's nothing wrong. Like I think everybody goes through it. Okay,
In some
and
way or
yeah,
the other.
in some way or the other. But society and media don't make it normal. Okay, for them it's like, no, like you're supposed to be a mother, you're supposed to know exactly what to do with your baby, and like
Right.
and feel ekdamai connection and love and feel none of these negative emotions, only ekdamai undying love हुन्छ नि. That's what you're supposed to feel. So even
Ama.
people ekdamai right, so even people who just have baby blues, even for them it might even be like, Ella, I have that type. Okay, so even whether you just have baby blues or whether it's actual anxiety or depression, like almost every mother is going through it.
Through something.
Yeah.
Right. So how can people around the mother or the woman or the child sort of help cope and even help them recognize their symptoms? Or what can they do to make their lives better? Like what could people around you have done for you?
Well, I know about what people did भनौँ न. So I said my mother was my anchor होइन. Other than that के भएको थियो भने त्यो बेला I was in such a state that I only wanted to talk to people who had just become new mothers, okay? Because
I was one of them.
I used to like text you there, like Instagram, like only like there were a handful of moms that were there that kind of helped me out of it because I knew they would understand. Because my friends who did not have babies, when I wrote them like, oh, you'll get over, they're just like,
yeah,
like, and that's not, no, I don't need that. Like I'm actually feeling it's very real for me,
right, right.
And so like I remember one of my cousins, I didn't really talk to her that much, but like her message to me was, hey, congratulations. She sent me a private message like, how are you coping? And the fact that she wrote, how are you coping, was like, hey, maybe she understands. So when I wrote to her, it turns out she was also going through it, right? Okay? So all these people that I was like talking to and stuff, they were all these mothers who were like, oh, it's okay, I went through the same thing, and they were giving me tips on how to do it, and even to know you're part of a community, like you are not alone, and these other women understand and they have their own mechanisms, and just to be like, Ella, I'm not alone, this is normal. Khariko पनि helps a lot. Like that I had wanted to do a breastfeeding group of mothers.
Yes.
But I was not able to because of मेरो छोरी पनि त्यस्तै थिए. Like she was एकदमै like crying and cranky, and the first 6 months with her was very difficult. She became a lot easier to deal with after 6 months, that she always used to be crying and एकदमै गाह्रो थियो के with her. So I was not able to get this done, but I think what would have really helped us even to have like a place we could go where new mothers kind of come. And the loneliness aspect, it would have tackled that loneliness aspect. Where you sit with new moms, breastfeeding is so challenging.
Right.
Like
oh my God.
The first 2 months is very difficult, right?
Very, very difficult.
Like latch milaunu parcha, and like what's the correct technique? How do you hold a baby? Like turns out I was not breastfeeding my baby properly because my excitement at a time. There's you have to feed both sides. So she was actually, I feel like, underfed also. Maybe that's why she was crying. Actually, it turns out her build is like that, but whatever. So there was like guilt.
But even then, remember you asking me about the baby's weight, and even my baby was quite light, and people keep asking kati weight bhayo, badeko chaina, and that also sort of adds on to the pressure. Am I doing enough?
I'm not even a good cow for my mother, for my baby, like I'm not even able to feed my baby properly.
Right.
But turns out some babies are just small. Like my baby is small. Turns out like oily guam khanse, but irritatingly she stays she obviously didn't get my body type, right? So it's just like something happened, she's still small, right? But no, like everybody's like bottle khanu, just that, and that added tension, okay? So even like how to breastfeed like properly. So I feel like it would really help to have a place where new mothers can just come and you sit around, and there's this bonding that you have. You swap stories, you share stories, and you're breastfeeding and just kind of destigmatizing breastfeeding, even, where it's not saying like breast. It's not like that. It's just like, so you can just be open and that bond, you bond with the baby, you bond with other mothers. Like I had wanted to do that, and you were on board, but my child they were so demanding, I couldn't like take that time to kind of plan it out. But I don't know, I have it in the back of my mind that I would want to do something like that, like have a space where new mothers could come and just socialize and not feel so lonely and so alone in this whole thing.
Also, our culture ma jun sutkeli share ko time ma they do the whole massage routine, Diana Belka. How helpful was that for you?
Oh, I hated getting massages. But that was also because I was so anxious of my chori, because my chori would not sleep. Like 10 minutes, 20 minutes matra chutti and uthihaldi ke. So aba massage ta 1 ghanta jasta huncha ni. So my ear was always like, kaile mero chori utcha. That being said, it did physically चाहिँ अब एङ्जाइटीहरू हुँदा कस्तो हुन्छ नि, you have a physical reaction and a mental thing होइन. So your physical reaction is your body is tense and everything, your heart is palpitating, all these things are happening के. अनि mentally obviously you're anxious, all these minds are going, all these thoughts are going through your mind and all that, त्यो छ होइन. So massage दिँदा चाहिँ what I did feel was my body would relax के. My mind would not be relaxed, but my body would be relaxed के. So at least मेरो tense up भएको muscles would sort of like, and that kind of helped me a little bit, like temporarily there was like kind of that relief. So I didn't like getting the massage just because like I don't like people fussing over me, you know, and let the whole massage and I was like, oh,
for me it was the opposite. I looked forward to my massages, like seriously.
म त लाइक बच्चा रुन्छ नि त बच्चा रोइहाल्छ and I would not be able to, I knew baby would cry के, you know, so half the was कहिले बच्चा रुन्छ कहिले I have to take her again because she had to be fed every 1.5 hours. अब त्यो मसाजको लागि अब get ready for the massage and post massage नुहाउने नै would be so long that सुरुमा त there be time that big massage को break मा लिएर खुवायो अनि फेरि like kind of, you know, so I was not able to relax during the massage, but it did help kind of muscles like the release kind of, just it did help me kind of physically loosen up a bit.
Right.
My mother also tried meditating with me and just kind of thing. So I had this little like this kind of this podcast or something where you should listen to just 5 minutes and just kind of breathe and just kind of thing, you know. So we did a little bit of that. I had like chamomile tea to kind of calm down and stuff, you know. So I did all these other things, and obviously anxiety like that mindfulness that you practice and just kind of, you know, it's okay. It's okay. Everybody has to have their own personal mantra that you say to just kind of calm down.
Some people also feel massaging the baby personally also helps bond with the baby and, I don't know, relax your own nerves. Did you do it?
I did not let the massage lady massage my baby.
Oh, okay.
Like, no, I'm going to massage. And so that became like a way of like bonding with the child. And also, like when you're massaging, like, after the relax and also it's like, I know what I'm doing. It's like you're in control of that situation right now, okay? And you know what you're doing. So they kind of like to be in control of things and of the situation and kind of know what you're doing. That also kind of helps you just kind of, for that moment at least, just like, it's okay, I got this kind of so all these things, I think massaging your own baby just in terms of bonding and stuff is very, very helpful.
Right. And in hindsight, I wish I'd done more of it, but initially, for me personally, I didn't think I knew how to do what was right, and I was thinking, मैले massage गरे भने खै खुट्टा बाङ्गो हुन्छ होला, or I don't know, you know, maybe I might like break her hands or something, you know. I was very scared on that aspect, so I did it much later matlab at least second month jastoma matai I started doing a massage. I was really scared.
No, you don't know what to do.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. And I don't know.
Because
right.
babies' legs are supposed to be like a little bit bent, and you're not supposed to make them straight, you know. And like you just want to give them a little bit of agility and kind of help. But they can't move, so you kind of do the tummy thing just to kind of get their like bowels moving and stuff like that, you know. Right. The only reason I was comfortable enough is because my sister, who already had a baby, she had shared this little like diagrams of like what to do with baby massage. So that's why I was really comfortable. Okay, and so you gain more confidence as the baby, and you talk with the baby, and the baby starts responding to you eventually, and so that kind of it's a really beautiful thing that happens.
Yeah.
So I was really happy I did that. And traditional massage चाहिँ अब खै अब एकदम अब के अरे नाक यस्तो यस्तो गर्नुपर्छ चुच्चो हुन्छ रे यो it's like 24 hours मा 5 minutes यस्तो गरे भने I don't understand how this going to change the shape of the baby's nose or like कान यस्तो गर्ने, you know, कान folded छ रे so यस्तो यस्तो गरेर रे. I was like no, like I didn't do anything to my baby's nose or कान, and it eventually आफै हुन्छ कस्तो भएको आफै फुकिहाल्छ नि.
Right.
And baby's leg was straightened without doing 24 hours मा 10 minutes straight गरे भन्दैमा like I don't know how that's supposed to create problems.
So do you think is the unsolicited advice also adds on to anxiety? I think I had that a little bit. It would really piss me off or like dampen my mood when people, you know, gave me all these unnecessary advices and are you doing enough, are you not doing enough, when people start questioning your abilities.
Everybody has दूध पुगेछ. I was like, excuse me, everybody. And then when you're having that thing of like my baby's not gaining weight, like everybody's asking you like, and I just like छैन, and they be shocked because I think they're expecting to be like, oh ठिक छ, oh छैन, huh? They mean
Yeah,
well.
yeah, they mean well.
They
They
mean
mean
well,
well.
but they don't realize that they're like the 400th person who's asked you
Yeah,
that. Okay?
yeah, and I really think that really adds on to one's mood and tension and irritation
हुन्छ होला
at
मलाई चाहिँ
that time.
thankfully
It
not
did.
too much of that. I like I was surrounded thankfully by a sympathetic bunch. I remember one more when I was still at my husband's house. I was just sitting there miserable, and um two of these my friend and this Didi sort of person, they will live nearby and they decided to visit me again. And completely on their own, and they didn't know how I was doing. And when they found me, I'm so glad they visited me because it meant so much that they came. And even for them, like they're like, oh, I did, like for them to share their stories and for them to have these very very sympathetic people to talk to in those initial days. I was just like, I didn't like it. It's just like,
Yeah.
what the wow, I just saw them and I just started crying, and it was so good to have that support. So thankfully, I think what's in like, yeah, I know like women have had these things where unsolicited.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I'm surrounded by people who are mostly they're understanding and sympathetic, so I've been very lucky like that. You know, yeah, koi hunsan, but
Yeah, but that's it.
the people who mind don't matter, and the people who mind
Who matter don't mind.
Yeah, the people who mind don't matter, and the people who matter don't mind. So
Right.
is really.
Thank you so much for coming on our show, Priya Didi. I think we've had a lot of information and a lot of real moments, stories that you shared with us that a lot of maybe our viewers watching will relate to, and even someone who's not going through it, maybe a husband, maybe a mother, maybe anybody would, understand ki yesto pani hudo rahecha. Maybe I should be a little more sympathetic, and that's what we plan on doing. So thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me.
So before you leave, I wanted to give you a small gift. We spoke quite in depth about massages. You can go and enjoy your Tranquility
thank
Spa
you.
massage for you and your rock star husband. And
We need
also,
it. We have a 2-year-old. We're exhausted.
yep. And this is a small gift hamper
Thank
from
you so
Be Safe.
much. Thank you.
And that's for you. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I also have some very exciting gifts for you guys. Please share this video on Facebook with the hashtag Himalayan Baby Care, and you could win this very special Happy Mom pack. You could also win Tranquility Spa vouchers and some extra gifts from PSafe. A big thank you to our title sponsor Himalaya, our co-sponsor Vatsalya IVF, online shopping partner Smart Doco, and wellness partner Tranquility Spa. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and I will be back next week. Bye!